again. Let's see the trial for Sweet's killer. Victoria Falls reporter Lennon. The trial of the man who allegedly fatally stabbed a Nyamanlovo farmer, Comrade Stuart Sweet, with a screwdriver before shooting him in the head has been deferred to next year. CDE Sweet, a ZANU-PF member, was aged 56 at the time of his death in March, was allegedly killed about 3 kilometers away from his farm in Nyamanlovo, Matabele North. His alleged attacker, Martin Chipinde, 37, allegedly used the deceased's personal pistol to shoot him to make it appear as if he had committed suicide. A passerby discovered CDE Sweet lying dead on the road with the pistol in his hand, according to court documents. CDE Sweet had visited Chipinde's place of residence during the day of March 26 to collect the debt which the accused owed him. He returned at night intending to see the accused person's stepdaughter, Beatrice Moyo, who was age 18, when a misunderstanding ensued as Chipande accused him of being a thief, resulting in the murder. That's why the car is going to repairs. Points, condenser, plugs, clean out the carburetor, change the fuel filter, adjust the needle and seat. It's flooding, hey, all sorts of cramps and constipation. It's coming to winter. If this item doesn't start now, during winter, big problems. Clear skies, sunny mornings, but cold. As the day goes on, it starts to warm up. Weekend visa. Sad about Mr. Sweet, the way we kill each other. May he rest in peace. This is Athlon Cemetery. It's grown. It's now on the other side of the road, and it's also popped up on the Victoria Falls Road. Cemetery is popping up all over Bulawayo. What does the name Bulawayo stand for? It's actually a Matabele name, isn't it? Bulawayo. I think it means the place of dying, where they are killing people, or the place to be killed. Bulala, to kill. I can't help but thinking that we're all going to end up, the whole city is going to end up in graves. You got other graves around in the western suburbs that are much bigger than this one. So I came here, passing on my way through, walking from dropping the car off at the mechanic, and a thought crossed my mind. What are the earliest burials at Athlon Cemetery? Some of the pioneers of Bulawayo that came here and settled. So I wanted to find out who they were. I know at the same time the Matabele and the Shona buried their people long before. I would love to visit their graves as well if they were marked. I heard from talking to the council worker that they are buried at Matabele. Now there's a lot of history with those pioneers. When they came and they were opening up Bulawayo and fighting Lobengula's men, the impies, and why we had to fight. I don't know, maybe we had to fight to get to where we are today. This far from the end of the world. So let's read the history of those men. This one reads, also to the memory of Cecil Davy of Gifford's Horse, who died on August 27, 96, from wounds received at a fight at Unguza River, June 6. Corporal Ernest Edward Reynolds, Gifford's Horse, killed in action with the Matabele at Fonseca's farm, Easter Monday, 6 April 1896. In memory of 3 brave men, Captain James William Montgomery Lumsden, 4th Battalion Scottish Rifles and second in command of Gifford's Horse, mortally wounded in the engagement with the rebel Matabele at Fonseca's farm, Shiloh, 7th April 1896, died at Bulawayo, 9th April 1896. Trooper Samuel Kenneth Mackenzie, Gifford's Horse, killed in action with the Matabele at Fonseca's farm, Easter Monday, 6 April 1896. LJ, aged 24, died of fever at Gwelo. PTE EM George, aged 26, died of fever at Gwelo. H. Woosborn, died of fever at Gwelo. Whittle, 23, died at Bulawayo. In the front, Sacred, 1896 to 1897, sacred to the memory of the NCOs and men of A Squadron 7th Hussars killed in action and succumbed to fever in Matabele land. Erected by the officers, NCs, O and men of A Squadron. I'm here in the Pioneer section. I've come to see the oldest graves that I could find in Bulawayo. Obviously there's older graves on the other side, the Matabeles. I would like to find out where they're buried. Lobengula, as the tribal head, did not want war with the whites, as he knew the devastating power they had. He gave his impies orders that they were not to touch white men or women, although he gave the authority for them to make raids on the Shona. War between the BSAC company and the Matabele was inevitable, and given the way the British press portrayed the Matabele land, almost expected in England. In June 1893, Lobengula sent a warrior group to the Fort Victoria area to punish a Shona chief for allowing his people to steal Matabele cattle. Lobengula sent messages to Captain Lendi at Fort Victoria saying that he had no warlike intentions towards the whites, although whites were asked to give up any Shona if asked to by the Matabele. Lobengula's forces laid waste to several Shona villages in the area, killing a number of the inhabitants. Rhodes was concerned that this would affect the company's ability to protect the Shona who worked as laborers on many of the settlers' farms. A mass meeting in Fort Salisbury called for company action, and Jameson, the company man in Salisbury, took action. Jameson summoned Matabele commanders to Salisbury and warned them about their actions. Their response was that Lobengula had never ceded any rights to settlement, only the right to dig for minerals, and that the Matabele had every right to assert their authority over the Shona who owed allegiance to the Matabele. Jameson gave the warriors an hour to clear the region, and then an hour later sent Captain Lendi to check on the situation with 40 armed men. Lendi's party came across a group of Matabele who offered no resistance. Despite this, Lendi offered his men to open fire, resulting in the deaths of 10 natives. Jameson, believing that the Matabele could be easily defeated, now decided to take further action. He asked the Boers in the camp how many it would take to defeat the Matabele nation, and then got the authority from Rhodes he needed. Rhodes raised the required money by selling 50,000 worth of shares and horses, and volunteers were bought and recruited with the promise of land grants in Matabele land. Jameson needed an excuse for war, and this was provided with false reports of Matabele maneuvers. Lobengula realized war was close. He wanted no more of what he regarded as the blood money payments of £100. Jameson created a situation in which blacks from the Cape were dressed up in Matabele costume and set out into the veld. At the same time, new recruits were sent into the same area. Shots were fired into the air, and the recruits ran back to Fort Victoria, reporting on Matabele firing on them. This was enough for Jameson. By early October, Jameson had amassed 650 volunteers and 900 Shona auxiliaries organized into two columns, one from Victoria and one from Salisbury. They advanced on Lobengula's stronghold at Bulawayo with field guns, 5 Maxim machine guns and modern rifles. They linked up and advanced towards Bulawayo. On the south bank of the Shangani River, they found themselves surrounded by 5,000 Matabele warriors. The Matabele had no answer to the Maxim gun, which was used to devastating effect. 500 Matabele were killed, and they withdrew. At the next battle, the result was the same. Total Matabele losses were 3,000, with just one white killed. The rifles Lobengula had acquired from Rad proved useless without the training required for their use. Lobengula offered the destruction of his capital, and then the remnants of his people fled north to the hills. Addressing his men, Lobengula said, "The white man will never cease following us while we have gold in our possession. For gold is what the white men prize above all things. Collect now all my gold and carry it to the white men. Tell them they have beaten my regiments, killed my people, burnt my kraals, captured my cattle, and that I want peace."